Yo, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be explaining the Walten files in this amount of minutes. So without further ado, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you like the Walten files, and without further ado, let's start the timer. So in 1958, Jack Walten and Felix Kranken bring up the idea of Bond's Burgers in college. So this is when they first met each other. So we're going to move on all the way to 1962, which is eventually when BSI is eventually formed. That pretty much is just the background of Bond's Burgers when the idea was ultimately established, and ultimately when the burger joint was eventually put into practice. So now we're going to jump all the way to May 2nd, 1974, where is a month away from the restaurant's opening. Felix Kranken ends up killing Jack Walten's two youngest kids in a drunk driving accident. He buries them in St. Juana's Forest, however they go on to possess Rocket the Puppet. Now this is ultimately the main aspect of the Walten files, where it all goes downhill, how a nice little project of Bond's Burgers goes from a really cool establishment to an ultimate downfall, as the whole story is basically kicked off from this one event. Now we jump all the way to June 11th, where the co-founder Jack Walten goes missing. We don't know where he is to this day. We still don't know where he is, but I'm sure future episodes will establish where Jack has gone. So then we're going to jump all the way to June 30th, while still when Jack Walten is missing, regardless of him going missing, Bond's Burgers opens its doors and has its first birthday party to a kid called Jeremy. However, this day does not go well for everyone at the establishment, as Susan Woodings at the end of the day tries to do some mechanics on Bond the animatronic, however does end up getting killed and stuffed into the Banny animatronic, which ultimately establishes the first kill of the entire series by Bond, and trust me, there's a few more to come. Now we're going to jump all the way to June 11th, while as Susan is sitting in the Banny animatronic, which ultimately leads to Banny going out of commission, Billy the Clown is introduced to Bond's Burgers and basically just replaces Banny. However, just 3 days later, another employee is killed by the names of Charles Brooke, who's eventually killed by Bond in a very vicious way and ends up possessing the Boozoo animatronic, ultimately again putting him out of commission. So that's 2 animatronics down and 2 employees down by Bond, and it is by far the most gruesome of the series so far. However, a very tragic event goes down on July 19th, as after looking for her husband Jack Walten, Rosemary Walten is killed as she's lured into the back room of Bond's Burgers and ends up being delimbed limb by limb and ends up being stuffed into Shaw. However, her screams cause the attention to grow very large within the residents around the Bond's Burger establishment, which ultimately leads to police getting a little bit suspicious of the establishment. And due to this, on October 31st, Bond's Burgers is officially condemned, as we see it go down pretty much like this. It is absolutely beaten to shreds. Within only about 3 to 4 months of opening, it is shut down. However, about a month later, in December 10th, we get the K9 facility is established, which is where Bond, Shaw, Boozoo and Banny and Billy and all arcade machines and pretty much all merchandise from Bond's Burgers are all stuffed into the K9 facility, ultimately to just be set there in an underground bunker. However, when we jump all the way to July 14th, 1978, a bunch of employees from Bond's Burgers, who has recently been established to reopen as the Relocate project has been established, we see Ashley Parks get killed as she establishes herself to go into the back rooms of the K9 facility and so-called, as quote, see something she wasn't supposed to see, as Bond is just chilling in the back rooms, who ends up picking her off and ends up stuffing her into the Billy the Clown animatronic. However, the employees that were there with Ashley just thought she left early, however she was in the back rooms being stuffed into Billy as they just left her there, unknowing that she is just stuck there pretty much for the rest of her life. As we ultimately jump all the way to October 1982, which is the very first kill of the entire series on episode chronology, which is Brian Stells gets killed outside the K9 facility. However, in a little bit more established way, it releases Bond from the K9 facility and probably presumably the rest of the showstoppers to eventually go out into the wild, which ultimately leads this Bond killing machine is just out in the wild and ultimately is going after Sophie. As then we jump to October 15th, 5 days later, where Sophie plays the Bunny Farm minigame as the events of episode 3 unfold, and ultimately we will learn about Jenny and Sophie's story in a later episode. So that was the Walten Falls story explained in around 5.5 minutes to 6 minutes. I really hope you did enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the support on the most recent video, so I hope you did enjoy this one. Make sure to smash the like button down below and make sure to subscribe. We are so close to 3k subscribers, so if you could help us get there in any way, shape or form, it would really mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have the most fantastic day, and I hope I explained the story in the best way I possibly could. So thank you all so much for watching. Have an amazing day and peace. First shot of this episode, Tammy picks this house. Now, if you ask me, that is the, worst house you can pick. It has wallpaper on the outside.